Well, hey everybody, it's Rip One Outdoors. Yeah, it's a Sunday afternoon. It's not a beautiful Sunday afternoon. In fact, there's a lot of cloud cover. It's overcast. Yeah, a little nip in the air. I got my old faithful red flannel shirt in there in the Rock Brothers bag in case we get off and get chilly. Where are we going? We're going to go back to Ridge Road South. I know y'all probably by now y'all have seen 3 or so videos from Ridge Road South. Hope you've enjoyed them. Fixing to see another one. So that's where we're going to go. We got the deer. The deer is the only bike that I'm going to take to Ridge Road South because it's made for the terrain. It's rough. It's muddy in places. It's dusty in places. It's I guess the best of all worlds down there right now. But we expect to see some more leaves turning and things like that. We may have a story or two to tell. So without further ado, hey, let's get took off. And so roll that intro. I washed a tractor yesterday. It's green again. It ain't been dusty because we ain't had no rain. Okay, y'all, here we go. I'm gonna apologize in advance because it's dark. It's just it's gonna be a cloudy ride. Hopefully the GoPro will do something with it. If it don't, I might can do a little something with it in DaVinci Resolve. That's one thing that I haven't gotten into yet with DaVinci Resolve is color grading, but I have found where you can. It's not a whole lot that you have to do to change things to where you can it maybe looks a little bit more pleasant on the screen. So I've already showed y'all we're riding a Magicycle deer. It's gonna be the bike of choice going down South Ridge Road, as we said. We hope everybody's healthy, happy, and well. Yeah, I know I've showed y'all this before, but this is the old railroad that went to NASA. And I don't want to stop here for too long because they throw dead things out here. But it goes that way. That's where I'd like to have us a rail trail that goes all the way to NASA. Yeah, I showed y'all down at TJ's down there by the dirt pit where the railroad comes through. Let's see if they be horses. Yep, there's the old white horse. That old white horse, he's not in good shape. There's some red. But about the horse cart right. Hey, Red, what you doing over there, Red? Now that horse in good shape right there, that red horse. But then again, I don't know a whole lot about horses. I know Mama accused Daddy of trying to kill us with some horses one time. She told Daddy, she said, Preston, I believe you're trying to kill them boys. And Daddy went off and bought us a half Welch pony and half Shetland pony. And that thing was mean as he was mean as a snake. Just answered an email for Mr. Ernie, who sent us an email about the bike stand. Now, of course, I won't get too deep into that, but he was just asking me about how strong I thought it was, and where I mentioned it had a lot of torque on it. Was it trying to break free and stuff like that? And I answered that, and I hope I calmed his fears on that, because that bike hand stand is very strong. One thing I did tell him that I was going to do, right now the deer is muddy. It's got mud all up underneath it and down on the wheels and everything. I'm going to use that bike hand stand to hold the deer up while I wash it. Oh yeah. Why not? We can do it. It's made out of aluminum. That thing light as a feather. It's made out of aluminum. It ain't gonna hurt it. If it hurts it, you know what? Go buy another one. But yeah, we're gonna use it to support the wheels off the ground while we wash it, and we can roll the wheels and stuff. Y'all, I declare, I think it's fixing to go to raining. You know, one thing that you don't hardly see over here anymore? You don't hardly see any blue beer cans anymore. Y'all remember the blue beer cans, the Bud Lights? Yeah, things used to be lining the ditches, but you don't hardly see them no more. I wonder why. I want to show y'all something. I might tell you a little story on it. About this area. This area on this corner right here. All this has changed, and I'm going to tell you, especially when Katrina changed the whole face of everything around here. That was in 2005, August 29th. But yeah, that corner right there, it was an old field up in there. We used to go up in there and pick blackberries and stuff like that. I don't even know who the land belonged to. I know Mr. John Thigpen's old place was up in yonder by them oaks. And but Uncle ST was a man. I'll go on now, and I'll tell the story as I'm going. But Uncle ST was a man that I dearly loved. He was Daddy's brother. Served in the Pacific during World War II. But he was a great, great influence on me. And my brothers, as far as that goes. We all loved him. But mainly because we worked with him. He worked with us. We worked in construction for years, and he was not only my uncle, he was a good friend, and just like another daddy to me. Yeah, Uncle ST. But Uncle ST always was, he was always trying to do things with us young'uns around there to keep us occupied. And he loved softball, men's slow pitch softball. This is rough through here, y'all. And he always wanted to have him a little softball team. Just to get the boys, give the boys something to do about my age. And some of my buddies and brothers and cousins and all. Well, y'all ever seen that movie, The Sandlot? Sure you have. Probably one of the finest little movies that's ever been made, I think. Kids can watch it, adults, as well can watch it. It's just a great movie. Well, that was the Sandlot that I showed y'all back there. That was the Sandlot of Cooter Ridge, I guess you'd call it. We got a little rain through here night before last, but it wasn't enough to fill these big old holes here up with water. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be able to come down in here, but I'm just gonna keep on coming like I'm coming because I love this place. This is old home. This brings back memories. A lot of stories about this old place is down here. I want to get Mickey and Joey to come along. But yeah, Uncle ST always did something with the kid. He was our Sunday school teacher. Man was a very soft-spoken man. But yet, he could hold the attention of 15 teenagers like you never seen, without even a whisper. I never heard him have to get on to none of the kids in Sunday school. Of course, kids were better back then, I guess, than they are now, because they were trained. They came up in better homes back then. But yeah, he always wanted us to have a softball team. So to have a softball team, you need a place to play. And we didn't really have a place to play because you remember I told y'all one time we used to play softball there where the horses were. But man, live there in Nicholson, Mr. Allen, he bought that place. And he put horses in there. Or he had cows in there rather. Yeah, there's some pretty trees here. Hopefully the GoPro will pick it up. But yeah, he had cows in there, so we couldn't play no softball there. So Uncle ST, he finagled around and got permission from somebody to go in that old field up there. And we was gonna build us a softball field in that field. Well, we got in there and stepped it off and marked it off, and beginning to wonder, you know, if it was even gonna be big enough to make a softball field. There goes a deer, 2 of them. I guess they like their, let's see if we can see them standing there. No, they run off. It was right there. 2 does. I wish y'all could have seen that. Well, I guess you'll have to see it through my eyes. I'll tell you about it. But so yeah, Uncle ST wanted to make us a softball field, and so we went and got in there and got to looking at it and figured out, man, it's going to be just barely big enough to have a softball field in, but we're going to have to clear a bunch of little old sapling pines. So he decided to get us all together. I'm telling this, and Joey and them, they're not knowing what I'm telling, but I bet you Joey and them will remember it. I think Mickey might have been in the Army. I'm not sure. But I know Joey will remember it because he was on the team, but we had us a little softball team. And some of them I can remember, probably there's some that I can't. We always had more players than what we needed. It was me and Joey, I know of. Donald was too little. Cousin James, Danny, Charlie, Bobo, Bob, Cupcake, Big Tim. I don't know. Maybe Joey and them's listening to this. They can tell me a few more I might have missed. But we had, how many softball players you need? 9? Well, we probably had 15 of us. But you know, I never was any good at it. But that didn't stop Uncle ST from working with us, you know. I mean, I played, but I just wasn't that good. I couldn't throw that ball. Old buddy Danny, he could stand on third base over there and throw that ball across there to first base, and you better have a good glove. It'd knock you down. But anyway, we decided we'd go over there and clear that field out. And I'm going to tell you right now, you talk about taking on a project that you didn't. I mean, if we had to all do over again today, knowing what I know now, I would say, hey, let's hire somebody with a little small dozer and go in there and grub that thing. Get them little trees out, get them roots. So we decided we was gonna go in there. We didn't have no chainsaws. We're gonna take axes and cut little sapling pines down. We got over and cut some of them finally. Danny's brother, Joey, they called him Foggy. Called him Foggy because he had trouble with his eyes back then. He wore probably thicker glasses than what any of us did. And his glasses stayed fogged up. Well, we picked at him one day about it and we called him Foggy. But old Foggy, he was always, he's a good friend. He's always trying to engineer things. He had an old truck that he had bought from Uncle Ebike. I'm just trying to think about where this old well here is coming from. They pulling water in here from somewhere. This is Uncle Ellis's old place. Uncle Ellis and Aunt Beatty's. Oh, they. So the pipe's running through the woods. The old artesian well must be right over there. There's Uncle Ellis and them's little old pond. Yeah. See, we used to come over here back when we was boys. Y'all, that was 50 some odd years ago. But yeah, Foggy, he said, boys, we ain't gonna chop these trees down. He said, we're gonna pull them up. I said, how you gonna pull them up, Foggy? He said, I'm gonna pull them up with that old truck. He had an old, about a 65 or 66 model Ford that he had gotten from Uncle BK. It didn't have no bed on it. I don't know where Uncle BK and them had got the, now see, there's water. That's water coming out of a well right there, like an artesian well. Oh yeah, just barrel right on off in there, see? Now that water's coming from, okay. I'm sorry to be bothering y'all with all this, but I'm just I'm reliving things here. I'm trying to determine where wells were and all. We used to come over here and get water when we was riding our bikes. We didn't bring water like we do now. I won't go nowhere without water. But we didn't bring water like we do now. Back then, we knew where all the wells were. Here at Uncle Ellis and Aunt Beatty's was a well. We could get water there. Across the road over here, I don't know whose old place that was, but we could get water there. Right down the road there to the left was Jim McGee's. We could get water there. There, I know I've told y'all over and over and over about the persimmon tree, but there it is. There's Daddy's old persimmon tree. It's probably been broke off and looks like it's regrowed and everything else. I mean, you know, life happened to it just like it has us. But yeah, old Foggy, he decided, he said, we're gonna pull them trees up. Well, he was in that old truck. It was a short bed, about a 66 Ford there, Mike Pate. And it didn't have no bed on the back. All it had was a piece of plywood. And Uncle BK was a carpenter, and he kept his carpenter tools back there in a little old plywood box. And they drove that thing all over the country doing carpenter work. I'm kind of riding along here telling stories and looking for more deer. I wish one would run out and rode in front of us. Old Jerry T, I watch his videos. He rides right through the middle of them up there. They all in the cart path, in the bike path where he's at. That's nice. So yeah, old Foggy, he said, boys, I'm gonna back up to that tree. I'm gonna bend it over a little bit. I'm talking about a little pine about 3 inches in diameter. And he said, y'all tie that chain to the bottom of it and I'm gonna snatch it. And he snatched it. And he'd jerk it out of the ground. And believe it or not, he pulled a bunch of them out of the ground like that. So that was working pretty good. Just a bunch of boys. We couldn't hardly afford a baseball or softball. let alone a bulldozer to come in there and clear that. But you know, after we got to clearing in there, we determined that it wasn't going to be big enough for a softball field anyway. If we'd have played softball in there, we had one old boy, Tim. He's dead now. But Tim, he could hit that ball. He was a big boy. Son, he could hit that ball. He'd knock it in that sweet gum thicket. And old Tim, he'd have knocked it out of the ballpark every time he got up there. We'd have steady been hunting softballs. But yeah, how many of y'all ever played softball when you was coming up? Probably got stories to tell of your own. Yeah, the Sandlot of Cooter Ridge. It was right there on that corner. We tried to build us a softball field there. And Foggy was trying to pull the pine trees up with that old truck. Y'all know what the truck name was? Rag Mop. Wasn't there a song about a car or a truck or something called Rag Mop about that time? This would have had to been in probably the early 70s, something like that. Deer tracks all over the place. I know I've been in here with y'all. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time in here. I'm just going to drive up here and turn around. That's a good place to shoot your pistol or rifle. Shoot it into the bank over there, and ain't no. There's coyote tracks. That's some pretty sand right there. You know, I'm amazed at deer and coyote tracks. I'm amazed at the different dirt. And it's the same way up there where Billy Wayne digging now. Like, see, this is pure white sand right here, but it's mixed with like some old gray, like pipe clay or something like that. But yeah, and then there's places where it's heavy red clay. Now that's some good stuff. And then you got places where it's like clay sand. It's all different kind of colors, you know, and types of dirt. All right, dear. Take us out of here. I love the deer, y'all. The deer, I would not come down here on the Jaguarundi. Jaguarundi is a city bike, okay? The deer is not the deer can be a city bike, but I don't use it as a city bike. The deer is my country bike. But yeah, that Jaguarundi would do good up there in the woods and silk stocking and places like that. So, you know, so is the Opie, the Ocelot Pro. It would do good, but I wouldn't bring the Ocelot Pro down here. Number one, you need that dual suspension. If you're gonna ride in a place like that back there, unless you want your butt to be slung around, you better have some dual suspension on that thing. Yeah, we've been answering a lot of emails here lately. Well, I say a lot, I mean a few, but a few is a lot for me. Helping people with things. People's been asking us questions about bikes and what I think about them. And you know, I never ever really thought I would consider myself as an influencer. And that's what they call the YouTubers, I guess. I don't know. I never considered myself as an influencer. Now, I talked to y'all about an influencer. That was my Uncle ST. Uncle ST was a huge influence on us. And if I die and never influence anybody on what kind of a bike to buy, that'd be okay. But if I could leave this world saying that by working through and trying to help others, that I could make the world a better place by being a good influence to people, now that would be my ultimate goal. And y'all know that's that's what's on my heart. It's been on my heart ever since I started this, okay? I don't get into the politics of things. I try to stay out of the, you know, and I'm not talking about the Washington politics. I'm talking about the politics of all the e-bike business and stuff. That's what my channel is. But I don't get into the political part of it. Who's got the best bike? Who's got this? I'm saying if you're out here and you're enjoying yourself, I don't care if you're riding a unicycle. It doesn't matter with me. But yeah, if I could help people along the way, that's why I put my email out there. There's not many people I see do that. And that's up to them. But I put my email, because if I can help someone, I will. But I get a lot of emails, y'all, about people who really appreciate what we do here. And, you know, I didn't know where the channel was going to go when we started it. I had no idea where it was going to go. I just started it to ride my bike, and I was going to show Mary and Mickey and Donald and Joey what I was doing and how much fun I was having doing it. That's as far as I figured that it would ever go. And yet 947 is what I'm at today, people later. You know, it's growing. And it's not growing because I'm putting nakedness on the screen, or not growing because I'm cursing every breath. It's growing because people legitimately like to watch the channel. Y'all, I don't know what we would encounter around yonder. But they got gates up and places like that, so probably can't do much in there. Hunting season's fixing to start. I already told y'all that. That little old tree there is proud, ain't it? Look at there. Ain't that pretty? I don't even know what kind of tree that is. But yeah, we was talking about them persimmon trees up there. Them persimmon trees are all over these woods. Daddy used to know where every one of them was. Tell you the truth, I felt a few little drops of rain back there a while ago. So I haven't said anything about bikes, because by the time you see this video, I will have already reviewed probably one, maybe two bikes. So I'm not going to say anything about them, because one of them's coming in tomorrow, and I might tell you something about it that may not be true. So I'm gonna just let that be. But I do have videos that y'all would have watched by now of reviewing a bike or two. I don't know. Yeah, talking about the ball team, you know, we went around and played. We went out to Henley Field and played a little bit. Joe and them will remember that. Played a few in a few tournaments and stuff. I guess I'm gonna tell you, we had some good ball players tonight. That is no lie there. Like I say, whether I was any good at it or not, that's neither here or there. But yeah, we had some decent ball players. That goes back to the cable line, y'all. That's where we went last week. I'm not going to go back in there again. We just riding, looking at leaves and Now see these trees here, y'all? Let me see if I can pull a leaf down here. Dang it, I tore it. That's tongue oil trees. All right, and y'all can Google that if you want. But this whole country used to be tongue oil country because of the Crosbys. Now, some of this y'all gonna be able to tie all this together here. I'm fixing to tell you. Up at Silk Stocking, where I took the picture of the Jaguarundi in front of that mansion, that's Mr. Crosby's mansion. Mr. Crosby decided to come down here in the early 1900s, and he planted tongue oil orchards all over this country, and they harvested them, and they used that tongue oil to make what? Paint and linseed oils, all kind of stuff to do with the chemical industry and paint, varnishes, and stuff like that. And so what you're seeing there is a lot of leftover tongue oil trees that have been here since the Crosby days, since the days when Crosby had all these farms in here. And they've never left and went anywhere. You know, I mean, they've never died out. The tongue oil trees are still here. Now these here aren't big enough to make any nuts, but they make a big old nut. It's like that. My Daddy had a horse one time. This is before we came along, but I think Mickey's old enough to remember it. But yeah, Daddy had a horse, and they had a coat, and the coat loved to eat them tongue nut blooms. And when the tongue nuts are blossoming in the spring, y'all, it's one of the prettiest things you've ever seen. It's almost like the cherry trees, you know, blossoming. Well, the little baby horse coat, it got out there and ate some of the blossoms, and it died, killed it. Boy, that's some good dirt. That's sandy clay right there. See, that's what I'd like to have. I like that sandy clay. Right there. That's what my house has got in the foundation right there. This is actually spec'd by the Corps of Engineers as being some of the best foundation dirt that it is. And they put this under a lot of the buildings down in New Orleans. Yeah, and you look on the drawings and they say, it'll say locations for dirt, and Hancock County, Mississippi is one of the places. I think we're just gonna ride on around right here, and when we get around the other side, we'll hang up. We'll shut her down. Somebody been down in there with their pickup spinning around. So we have enjoyed the ride with the deer today. We enjoy the ride anywhere, to tell you the truth about it. I enjoy the ride with any of them e-bikes there at the house. Cruise control kicked in. How about that? It's just cruising right on around through here. Look, I ain't even touching the throttle. That's all right. Boy, this equipment here looks like it's a little old and run down. That ain't got no window in it there, look. That thing Billy Wayne's running was like a Cadillac. That thing's got air conditioning in it now. That thing there's got the natural air conditioning in it. All right, I hope y'all have enjoyed the ride on the deer today. And yeah, enjoyed the story about Foggy trying to pull the pine trees up with the old rag mop. We're talking about the old Sandlot of Cooter Ridge there. The ball field that never came to be, because after we got most of it clear, we discovered it was gonna be too small. Hopefully the story or the ride will bring a smile to some of y'all's faces. That's what it's all about. If we could help somebody that's down and out and get their mind for just a few minutes, get their mind off all the ugliness of the world, that's what we'd like to do. Let me just hop off for a second. I'm gonna get me a drink of water and we'll walk over here by the edge of the pond here. Yeah, there it is. That's the old muddy deer. Yeah, I got mud all up under the battery and all that. I gotta clean it up. That's some pretty green water down there. And look down there what I see. Y'all see him down there? Ooh, Mr. Alligator. See him swimming? I don't know if y'all can see him swimming across. I'll get my camera and see if I can take his picture for y'all. Maybe I can zoom in. What in the world is that alligator think he's gonna do down there in that old pit water like that? There he is. All right, I'll take a picture and I'll put the picture on the screen in case he don't come out on the video. About a 4-footer. Well, we hope y'all have enjoyed the alligator, if nothing else. Y'all know the routine. Hey, if you decide you want to buy a bike like this Magicycle deer or any bike from Magicycle, use our link. We got a little more commission money coming, I saw, and I already got plans for it. I'm gonna use it to buy a new tripod. My old tripod is about to fall apart, but I'm gonna use it to buy a new tripod and maybe some video and equipment. You know, little things that'll help me with the video stuff, especially around the house there, doing reviews and stuff. And yeah, if you decide you want to use that link, and there may be a coupon code on there, try that. And hey, y'all know the rest of the story. Hit that like and that subscribe, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. Till we see y'all again, it's Rip One Outdoors. We hope y'all have a blessed day.